So here's a picture of a manuscript predating Muhammad. Now Muhammad was told by God, if you're in doubt concerning the things written therein in the Quran, ask the people of the book, the Christians and the Jews. One of the arguments that Muslims give today is that, oh, your Bible's corrupted. Well, I can tell you today that we have manuscripts predating Muhammad at least 400, 500 years that talk about that Jesus died, was buried, and he rose again. So either what the Imams told you is a lie, or you can follow the facts, which we have manuscript evidence telling you that Jesus did die, Jesus was buried, and he did rise again, and it also mentions that Jesus is the Son of God.
I'm going to clear something up for you, okay? I'm going to show you something about the Quran.
You never know if that's the original.
How much do you know about the Quran?
I read up to the 10th.
I'm going to show you two different Qurans. You do know that it was revealed in 7 different dialects. Do you know that? This is the Quran. Okay, so we have 2 major versions, the Hafs, and we have these different types of versions of the Quran. I'm going to compare the different versions of the Quran, and this is in existence, to show you that there's changes as well in the Quran.
Well, the original Sunni.
This is the Quran according to Imam Hafs. This says, Ibrahim enjoined on his sons. This, according to Imam Wash, says Ibrahim left to his sons.
Do you understand Arabic, first of all?
Yeah, and these are Arabic words. Okay, this is the original, and this is showing you the difference in the different Arabic. This in Surah chapter 3, 133 says, and hasten to. This just says hasten to, so it's missing and. This one says here, then turn back. This one says turn, this says turn back, that says turn back, but uses a different word in the Quran. This says, he said, my Lord knows. This one says, say, my Lord knows. Different words. This one says, and for him is no fear. This one says, therefore, for him is no fear. So we see 2 different Qurans, and I have more. Look, there's even more. It says here, we give mercy. It says he gives mercy. This one says you say. This one says they say. We shall raise up. This one says we shall revive and make alive.
Which one was revealed first? Between these 2.
These are the 2. If you study the Quran was revealed in 7 different dialects, and each dialect is worded differently, and so but they have different meanings. And so what this?
It's not. It wasn't brought in 7 years ago. It was brought in one dialect, but then people
then people alter the Quran.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying the Quran is altered. So how can we trust the Quran?
Because the original book has not been altered. Like the Sunni
This
book,
is the original book.
the Sunni.
Is that the Sunni book?
This is Sunni. Yeah, these are Sunni Muslims that follow it. So Sunni is a denomination. So look at this. I gave you, we gave
what
you.
What religions do you
He gives them. Here, I'm gonna just say.
Why is there so much different types of Christianity if you guys are Jews?
Don't you know the hadith that it says in the last days there'll be 73 sects of Islam, and the sects of Judaism and Christianity will only have 71? That's what one hadith says from Prophet Muhammad. So what that says is that the Islam will have the most sects out of all of the other religions, well, especially Jews and Christians. So if you can't trust Christianity because there's a lot of sects, you'll definitely not be able to trust Islam. And if you can't trust Christianity because you claim that there's different translations, just like there's many different translations.
Not just because of that. It's because we believe in the Bible, the original Torah, but it's just that in the Bible it says it's going to be someone after it. That's when Prophet Muhammad came down. And Prophet Muhammad.
How do you know that that's what the Bible says?
It actually said that.
If you don't have a Bible to even prove that.
No. My sheikh will be going to it. Like that.
Your sheikh?
My sheikhs, not sheikhs.
Your what? Your sheikh, like your imam?
My imams.
So you just trust the word of an imam and you don't study it yourself?
No. They studied that. That's what they studied.
No, but look, I can listen to some bozo down the street who claims to be some.
Jesus, right?
Okay, go ahead. I got 4 gospels. I'm listening to you.
Got 4 gospels written by 4 guys.
I got 4 gospels by 4 guys. Go ahead.
That never met
Jesus.
And it's written in,
Okay.
it's written in Greek. Jesus spoke Arabic.
2
two facts you already messed up on already. First of all, Matthew Levi was a disciple of Jesus. So was John. He was an apostle. Mark was a companion of Peter, who was an apostle of Jesus Christ, who recorded the Gospels. And Luke was a companion of Paul and Peter, who recorded the Gospels. So you got it all wrong, brother.
You got it wrong. There's no proof that
There's no proof. We have eyewitnesses who wrote those stories in the Gospels, Matthew and John. That's number two. And we have two recorders.
using names here.
Of course I'm using names. Matthew was a disciple. Read the Bible. I said, did you read the Bible? You said you haven't read it all, and yet you're saying these false accusations because Matthew was a disciple of Jesus Christ, and you don't even know that.
Do you want to give me the mic?
Do you know that John was a disciple of Jesus Christ?
I know John.
You know one of the Gospels is named John?
There was a man called John.
Come on.
Listen, dude, you're the one with the microphone.
Of course I'm a guy with the microphone. It's my microphone. You want to challenge me?
Let me make some
Go
points.
ahead. Go ahead. Make some points. Go ahead.
Right.
I'll hold the mic.
All right. There were these four men that you're speaking about, right? However, there's a difference between saying, there's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But they were just Gospels written to use to give them credibility. You only have like the Gospel of John according to John, Gospel according to Luke. Where's the actual men that you're referring to? Anyone, I can write something and say, here's the Gospel according to Omar, right? There's no evidence. You're passing this off as evidence. Do you see what I'm saying?
Can I answer you? No, let me answer him. Let me answer him. Okay. We have two witnesses. We have two witnesses, Matthew and John, who are... Are you going to let me talk now? Because I let you talk. Do you want to keep... Okay. Okay, go ahead. You made a comment. I want to respond to you. Do you want me to respond to you? Do you want me to respond? Generous. It is my mic, bro. Listen. Matthew and John were companions, part of the Ummah of Jesus Christ. They recorded what Jesus Christ said. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Do you want me to answer you, brother? Do you want me to answer you? So these two people recorded what Jesus said. Hold on. I already mentioned you about Mark and Luke. Do you want me to repeat that? Okay, so Mark was a recorder of Peter's words, and he recorded the gospel on behalf of Peter. And this is part of the Christian hadith. Now, here's a question that I want to throw back at you, because we know that according to Islamic tradition, Muhammad was an illiterate prophet. So who wrote the Quran, brother?
The question I have for you is, who recorded the messages of Muhammad? Is the messages of Muhammad even the messages of Muhammad that he actually spoke? We don't know that, because we know from Islamic history that the original Qurans, the original surahs that were recorded and written on rocks, written on leather parchments, do not exist today. Uthman was the man who started to compile the various different Qurans that existed at that time, and all you need to do is study Islamic history, study the hadiths, and you're going to see that there was different Qurans, some that included some surahs, some that had missing some other verses. And to make sure that the Ummah of Muhammad didn't get confused in regards to the Quran, he took all the variant Qurans and he burnt them. He burnt them. They don't exist today. This is in Islamic history. The question is, what did those other Qurans say?
Scribes, not Muhammad. We don't even know if that's Muhammad's words, brother. What happened to the original Quran? Because the original Quran, Muhammad's words were not even written in script. It was written on rock. It was written on leather parchments. Where are these things? That's two. Number three, memorize. Let me tell you something. Muhammad never wrote a book. Muhammad never wrote a book. And you have a Quran according to who? Come on. You have a Quran according to who? We don't even have a name, bro. Who wrote it? Who recorded it? Scribes. Who's these scribes? You want to attack the Bible and say we have four Gospels, Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, who are written according to, but yet you have a Quran who was recorded by unknowns. And yet you want to attack the Bible?
It's a memorized book.
Come on, bro.
To this day.
A memorized book.
To this day.
Do you even know the history of the Quran?
You spoke about.
Okay, go ahead.
To this day, the Quran is the only book that is memorized to the dot. You can find millions of people, regardless of whether they're Arabic or not, who can recite the Quran in the language it was revealed in Arabic, the language it was revealed in. Do you find me any Christian who can recite to you the words of Jesus in Aramaic preserved from the thousands of years ago? You can't, because it's not there. It doesn't exist. There's only one Quran, yet Christians have various Bibles, and you guys can't even agree on what the Bible is. The Catholic Bible has 7 extra books than the Protestant Bible. So what kind of behavior is that? You can't even agree.
Do you want me to answer you?
One Quran.
Do you want me to answer you?
In the language of Revelation.
Do you want me to answer you? Have you ever heard of Hafs and Warsh? You haven't heard, so you don't know your Islamic history. Do you know that there's 7 different dialects of the way that the Quran, hold on, the way that the Quran was revealed, and today, the Quran is not recited in the same way and in the Arabic, the Arabic versions or the recitations or the recordings of the Arabic are different in every single way. And if you compare the Hafs and the Warsh, you're going to see things like Allah said this, and then you're going to see things like Allah will say this. You're going to see things like we said this, and you're going to say they said this in the Quran in the Arabic text. Do you want me to show you proof? Because I think I have it in my bag. Okay, so bro, look, just check my bag and see if I have a couple sheets about the Arabic comparisons. Because I want to tell you something, brother. I know what the Imams have taught you about the Quran. No, you have been indoctrinated because you made an accusation against the Bible without knowledge. Hold on. Here's what I'm going to do. I wish I had it. If you read the Hafs and the Warsh, you're going to see that they're very minor differences, but it makes a difference in meaning. And so if there's a difference in meaning in the Arabic text, that means there's not one authentic, or at least there's not one version of the Arabic.
You do realize in today, there's only one Quran that is used. That is Osmani text. The Qurayshi dialect of Arabic is the universal Quranic Arabic. I don't know what era you're referring to here, but it's still the same language. It's still the same language, and at the end of the day, there's only one physical Quran. Here's what
I want you to do. Because I know you're talking from ignorance right now, and it's not because...
But that's being judgmental again.
It is being judgmental.
Is that Christian judgmentality?
No, it is judgmental because the Bible says judge righteously.
Oh, so only you know right? Because you have God's knowledge.
Brother,
you know who's right.
I'm educated in this, and all you need to do... If anybody has an iPhone or any kind of phone, type in right now on Google Hafs versus Warsh and do a study comparison, or go into www.answeringislam.com.
And there's an answering.
And guess what you're gonna see on this website?
There's an answerinchristianity.com as well.
Of course, brother. There is an answering Christianity, but you're gonna see the facts about the Quranic text. And you're gonna see the fact that the original Quranic text doesn't exist because it was burnt by Uthman because there was differing Qurans with different
dialects.
No, read your hadiths, brother.
Dialects. I read the hadiths.
Look, if you read the hadiths, you're gonna read that there were different original Qurans that had different surahs. Some surahs weren't in it, some surahs were missing. Read the hadiths. If anybody has answeringislam.com on your phone, all you do is look into the Quranic history.
Can you personally find another Quran that's different from today's?
Brother.
Can you?
Everybody,
yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you can find another Quran that's
Brother,
different from today.
do you know that every weekend there's Muslims standing out here handing out Qurans? Do you know that I have personally about 4 or 5 different versions or translations of Qurans?
You realize that translation is not
not translation now. But you just mentioned a little earlier about the different versions of the Bible. We're talking about of course there's different versions because it's in English, brother. So what's the difference between the Bible in English and the Quran in English?
Because the difference is that the Quran is maintained in the original language of Revelation.
So you didn't hear me, brother. You didn't hear me,
brother. The Old Testament's in Hebrew, right?
There are different Arabic texts of the Quran.
Jesus spoke Aramaic. Find me one Aramaic.
Somebody with an iPhone with data plan, type in answeringislam.com, and you're going to see the truth about the Quran. The Imams will tell you that there's only one Quran with one dialect and one authentic way of saying it. But the truth is that if you go to places in North Africa,
I've been to North Africa.
and guess what? No,
I've been to North Africa. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Morocco.
Who reads the half Arabic version? Brother, you don't even know about the half.
Give me the mic.
No, I'm not going to give you my mic. You don't take my mic from me. You ask me if I can get the mic.
May I have the microphone, please?
Not yet, no. Because you know what, brother?
The mic.
Here's the thing. You didn't even know about the halves and the wash ways of dialect.
microphone.
You didn't even know about that.
No, I didn't know you were referring to Arabic here, but
Of course I'm referring to it. So you know about the halves and the wash in
I
Arabic.
know about the different dialects. I studied Arabic.
So you know that the Arabic text of the halves is different from the Arabic text of the wash. You know that.
Yeah, but it's not a difference in meaning.
So now
It's not a difference in meaning.
It's not a difference in meaning. So when it says we have created and they have created, that's not a different meaning.
It doesn't say we have and they have.
Do you?
That's completely different.
I wish I had. If someone has a phone, he can show you.
Okay.
He can show you.
Still understand what they're saying.
But anyway, you wanna talk and say something different?
The mic.
Yeah, as I was saying,
I'll hold the mic.
I got several points there. There's only one Arabic Quran, as I was saying, and different dialects is not the same as different meanings. Like, as, for example, your Bible, there are several versions, and there's a difference between dialect and a version. You have the King James version, right? And then you've got the New Standard Revised version, and there are actually parts of this New Standard Revised version that are not in the King James. Therefore, there are parts that are actually kept out of the Bible. And as I said, the Catholic Bible has 7 extra books in the Protestant Bible. So you can't actually agree on what the Bible is. That's the point I was trying to make.
Can I answer that? Every Bible that you pick up, whether it's New International Version, New Revised Standard Version, King James Version, today's English version, every Bible says that Jesus died, buried, and rose again. Every Bible has the exact same story in its general sense. Now there are different ways of translating something, just like you see in the Quran. You see Arabic translated to English by Yusuf Ali. You see the Penguin version. You see different translations that in the English it renders it a bit differently. It's not different from the Bible because the Bible wasn't written in English.
So you believe that
hold on. So just for the record, when you compare the Bible and you say, well, the Bible has different translations, know that they're translations. But if you go back to the original manuscripts, which are in Greek in the New Testament and are in Hebrew in the Old Testament, and
hold on 1 second. Even though Jesus spoke Aramaic.
No one said that the New Testament was written in Aramaic.
But Jesus spoke Aramaic, right?
Do you know what Jesus spoke? If you look within the Bible, which you said you didn't even already read, we understand that Jesus also spoke Hebrew, Jesus spoke Aramaic, and a common language, which is why the New Testament was written in a language called Koine Greek, which means common language. It was like the English today. And so these were the languages that were present in Jesus' day. So if you wanted to speak, and if you read and study the Bible properly, the Bible was, the New Testament's message was brought into the Roman Greek world. And that's why it was written in Greek, so that people in the Gentile world could understand the message of Jesus Christ. That's why it was written in Koine Greek.
Jesus didn't preach to non-Jews, right?
No, Jesus actually spoke to a Syrophoenician woman in the Bible. He spoke with a Roman centurion, and these were not Jewish people. Jesus spoke to different people that were not Jewish, if you study the Bible.
Is there not a verse in the Bible in which Jesus says, I have not come except to guide the lost sheep of the house of Israel?
And do you understand that there's...
Jesus says he came for the sick.
Brother, who... Okay.
Was that wrong?
Okay.
Like a doctor is only there to help heal the sick.
Okay, brother. There is a verse, just like you said.
It's such a contradiction.
No. Do you know that the Quran says that Jesus Christ was sent to the entire world?
It does not say that anywhere.
Oh, really?
Man, you know what? Do you come here often? Does anybody have like a Quran on Google? All you just type, if you have a Quran, I could probably find it for you.
Yeah.
And if I find it for you, because you're a Muslim and I know your Quran better than you.
Yeah, you don't. You're a student or something.
Well, you didn't even know that what I just said is in the Quran. I'm going to find it for you in this version of the Quran, which is different from my other version. But I'm going to find it for you, and it's going to say that Jesus Christ.
And who is it published by? Some Christian?
Who's it published by? Now it's about who published. So there's different Qurans published by different people. Is that what you're saying?
It's a translation.
It's a translation. But the King James and the New International and the Revised, that's not a translation, right?
They're accepted as different versions.
Of course they're different. You can call it a version or a translation. It's still a version. This is a version of the Quran.
It's a translation.
A translation, version. Synonyms for the same thing.
No, really.
Would you be happier if I said King James translation? Would that make you feel better?
Because it's a version. It's accepted.
It's a translation, brother. It's called bringing the manuscripts and translating it into English.
Why is the standard revised version different from the new? Why are there parts? Why are there parts of the standard revised version that are not in the King James?
I can tell you exactly why. Because if you study the original, okay, hold on.
Let him find this.
What do you want me to?
This Jesus
I don't know if they. I don't even know if they know that.
Then you're the expert. You're the Quran expert.
Let me find it. Okay.
Hold this man.
You're the Quran scholar, so let's see you find it. Where it says Jesus was sent to everybody. And that was your words, by the way.
It was.
what he did was, okay,
Hold on.
Yeah, I'll give you time. I'll give you time. Don't worry, bro.
first of all,
I'm still waiting for this guy to find Jesus came to everybody in the world. I know we're just chatting, man.
Jesus healed a man on the Sabbath.
That's why I was asking you guys if you're Ephesians. Just point me quickly to the chapters of Jesus Christ, and then you'll find it. That's why I was asking if you're Ephesians. So you could just quickly point me to the part where it talks about Jesus. But hold on. I read it, but I'm not a Hafiz. I don't memorize the Quran. No, I don't. I'll admit that.
Yeah, but you could have had your little stickers on.
It's in the parts where it says that we sent Jesus.
Okay, a bit
So-
more information than that, bro.
Yeah. There's only a couple chapters. Well, there's a lot of chapters that speak to Jesus, but there's a few key passages. That's why I'm searching in like chapter 3 to chapter 6. But hold on, I'll find it. I'm skimming through as quickly as I can.
Because both the Quran and the Bible both agree that Jesus was sent to the children of Israel. And
No, actually,
Jesus was
I'll
sent
answer you when I answer you from your own Quran, and then I'll answer you from the Bible.
Okay, cool. So we just have to wait here, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you never find it, that kind of means it's not in there.
Take your time, David.
Why certain
So
budget?
small, actually. Why so small?
I don't know. It's not mine. It's the one they hand out at the corner.
It's the missionary. It's the missionary.
It's- No, this is handed out by the Muslim missionaries.
Is it the right one?
It's gonna freeze my.
I don't know. Is there a different
How
Quran?
come you're gonna read something and you don't know if it's right or wrong?
It's translated by Abdullah Yusuf Ali. It's given by the Muslims that hand out Qurans
It's okay,
here.
it's a lot of things translated, but you're gonna like.
So now I can't trust the Bible. I can tell you something. I'll give you any Bible and you can trust it because Jesus died in every single Bible.
No.
So you're telling me that someone could give me a Quran? Look, let me just find this for you, and then I know enough to know that what I'm saying about the Quran, about Jesus being sent to the world, is in the Quran. And, and all you need to do.
You know when you touch the Quran, you have to respect it.
Sure. You know when you talk about Jesus, you need to believe he's the Son of God.
Okay, like when we came to Muslims, like we believe in all of them. We believe in Jesus, we believe in Muhammad.
God don't die in the first place.
Okay, guys, I lost the crowd.
Unlucky, man.
Thank you. I found it. Surah chapter 3, verses 3. And it is he who sent down to you step by step in truth the book, confirming what went before it. And he sent down the law of Moses and the gospel of Jesus before this as a guide to mankind. And he set down the criterion of judgment between right and wrong. Brother, there's your Quran.
That actually go and show that again.
As a guide to mankind, brother. Not to Israel, as a guide to mankind.
He sent down the gospel. Yeah, these are the previous books.
Come on, brother. Come on, man. Am I a liar or you don't know your Quran?
No, you're
I just found to you the verse.
I would say you misinterpret what he just
How do you interpret that? As a guide to mankind.
As a guide, the law of Moses and the gospel of Jesus as a guide to mankind. Does it say
mankind?
Does it say Jesus himself was sent to mankind?
Do you know? I want you to do this. Do me a favor. Look up the word mankind in Arabic. Look up that word. It's not. It's referring to mankind, to people, to everyone. We sent down this as a confirmation to the people of the past, as a guide to mankind. Surah chapter 3, verses 3.
You said once you find that verse,
I found it. I read it.
you will respond to what he said.
Now,
that is found in Matthew.
Okay, now I will respond. So the preacher was right. Now what's the other question?
Matthew, what does it say?
I don't lie. When I said I saw it, and it's there.
Well, that's not saying Jesus was sent out.
Come on, man. It's sent to mankind.
I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. If he's telling himself as saying,
Good question.
saying like all prophet, he was sent just to the lost sheep of Israel.
Good question.
How does it come about that later in some, is it in the gospel or is it
I don't say
in another gospel?
He says he's the son of God. He says he's God as well.
It says go out into the world and preach all the gospel. It assumes that he was sent to the whole world.
Yeah, because.
Can you speak up? Because
What his question was, and I'm going to answer him. He said, "Why is it in one verse in the Bible where it says that Jesus was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, but in
Did you want the mic? Do you need the mic?
Sure. Okay. But if it's okay, you can preach. Why don't you?
It doesn't matter.
It's okay. I got it. I can talk. You preach.
Get out of context.
So you have a verse in the Bible where it says Jesus was sent as a guide. That he was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And then you have another verse where it says that Jesus. What was that? The disciples were sent unto the world, or Jesus? Which one?
Go out into the world and preach
Okay.
the gospel.
So Jesus, that's Matthew 28:18, and go into all the world, make disciples of all nations, baptizing them. So Jesus is commanding his disciples to go into the world, but yet it says in one verse that Jesus was sent to the lost house of the tribe of Israel. What we're gonna do?
Here's the Quran,
Yeah.
right?
Just say
You
Arabic.
said that Ali Umran, right?
Yeah.
Here is it. You don't know Arabic, but I know Arabic.
I don't know
okay?
Arabic.
Okay. Here's Alif Lam.
You speak Turkish or
yes,
Arabic?
I speak Arabic and Turkish.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you said in ayah 3, right?
Yeah.
Here, he said, he talking to Muhammad.
Sure.
Okay. He said, I give you the Quran.
He sent down to
okay,
you.
And then we have to believe in Torah and Injil,
Yeah.
right? In these two books.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how he don't say all the stuff that.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's wrong.
So
That's
this,
wrong.
so this is a wrong.
That's
Okay.
wrong,
So I can
yeah.
throw this away. I can.
There's some good.
No.
There's God. There's Jesus. There's
So now I can't trust the Quran.
You trust the
So
Quran.
this is not the right
I
Quran.
didn't say Jesus'
This
name.
is not the right
I didn't say
Quran.
Jesus'
You don't
name.
trust the translation. You trust the Quran.
I don't trust the translation.
Where's
Brothers, you guys are wasting your time on the streets handing out Qurans if no one can trust it.
But now we don't hang out this Quran, man. We don't give out this Quran.
You don't give out this Quran.
Not this translation.
Doesn't say
Other
Jesus.
translation.
You don't give out
Right?
No, there's Jesus in it.
Okay. Oh man. So now I gotta find the right Quran.
You're the researcher, though, right? You're the expert. You're the Quranic.
If I can't trust any simple English Quran, it's a waste of my time.
You don't care about
So now I need to learn Arabic and
He like find anyone he can translate from Arabic to English, okay? And then he's gonna read that. That's in your hand. You will see who's the right, who's the wrong. That's who is wrong. Translator is wrong, okay?
Look,
That's all.
you know what?
I can go now. Let me tell you one thing. I
It's
can go
here,
now
it's
and
here.
translate a
Oh, it's
Quran
here.
and publish it to the people.
Okay.
I can't do that.
You know, then why?
Anybody
why,
can do it.
Okay, why? If it's a guide to mankind and we can't even trust the guide to mankind, it's not a guide to mankind. I'm sorry.
But the Quran.
I can't even trust the English version of the Quran now?
Anybody can. I can now go and write Bible.
I have to find the right one. So there's wrong Qurans?
And you know the truth, but you don't want to hear it.
No, I could give you any Bible that says Jesus died, buried, and rose again. Every Bible says God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Every Bible.
It's tell you like you guys you have to respect Muhammad. You have to believe
No,
in
this is
Muhammad.
listen.
So why our Quran saying that? Why we have to believe
I
in
don't.
all the Quran?
Okay, no.
Why?
Look, in all fairness to both of you.
So answer.
Okay, I'll answer you. Look, I don't know you personally. I love everybody personally. This is a talk about ideology. It has nothing personal. Okay, so I just want to clear that up. Okay. You're my brother. Okay, so there's nothing personal at all. It's just ideology. Okay, so we're just discussing ideology. I just read to you a verse about Jesus being sent as a guide to mankind and so forth like that. And I pointed that out. And what you're saying to me is that that Quran can't be trusted, but maybe some other Qurans can. That's one of the most well-known scholars of the Quran, Abdullah Yusuf Ali. That's what's handed out every day. Now, I don't know Arabic. I know the alphabet, alif, ba, ta, and I learn little.
You said the Injil and the Torah, though. You didn't say Jesus.
Yes.
No.
Talk about Jesus.
No, listen. The Injil is the message of Jesus, right? So if you want to know what the Injil actually says, there's one passage where it says that Jesus was sent to the lost tribes of the house of Israel, but there's such things as called a primary mission and then a secondary mission. His primary mission was first to come to the Jewish people because he was the Jewish Messiah, but his secondary mission was to spread the gospel throughout the entire world. Jesus said in John chapter, and I'll read this for you, John chapter 10, which is one of the Injil story accounts from one of the Ummah of Jesus Christ. Jesus clearly... Hold on. Jesus said here, he said, I am the good shepherd, I know my own and my own know me. Even as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And I have other sheep which are not of this fold, or not of this race. I must bring them also, and they shall hear my voice, and they shall become one flock and one shepherd. So Jesus clearly says that I'm going out to reach to other people too, not just the Jewish people. And if you read the Quran in its context, he sent out his disciples to the entire world. John chapter 3 3, verses 16 is one verse where it makes it clear, and it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave the whole world, that he gave his one and only Son, Jesus, that whosoever believes in him." And it says in John chapter 1, it says, "And he came unto his own, the Jewish people, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God." So anyone, doesn't matter what your race is. So the Bible makes it clear that Jesus was sent for everyone. This is what the Bible says. But when I hear some guys say, well, quote one verse from the Bible and say, well, this is what the Bible, that's not fair. It's the same thing if I went into the Quran and I took one verse and I said, this is what the Quran says, but I don't look at everything. We got to be fair to each other, right? So in all fairness, when I studied about the Quran about war, and I did a good study, and I realized that there's a lot of verses that say it's okay to fight in the name of God and in war times and so forth, but there are some verses that said do not exceed your limits. So if you're fighting them and if they stop fighting you, then you should stop. You shouldn't exceed your limits. So that's a good thing. I'll give it, because if someone's not fighting you, there's verses in the Quran that says don't fight them. That's a good thing. But there are verses in the Quran that says it's okay to fight in the name of God. Now, when you look at war, fine. I did say that earlier. I did say that.
Amen. I didn't mean to.
Don't worry about that. But look, sometimes when we're talking, it can maybe look a little heated. But I want you to know that there's nothing personal. I stand out here a lot, and sometimes things might appear one way. But you know what? At least we're talking instead of fighting each other.
Yeah, that's right.
At least we're talking instead of killing each other. No. I never said you were fighting. I said at least we're talking instead of fighting each other.
But
this is good.
We have to talk the right thing, right?
And
we have to prove to another person we are right. When we talk, we are right?
No, you're right.
But now when you talk, I'm Muslim, I know what's in my book, and he know what his book, and you know what's in your book, right?
Yeah.
So if one of us, we know one thing, and you know different, so that means you're wrong, right?
But you know how this started, though? You know what? No. Hold on. Well, first of all, I study religion, but he came attacking me first. Okay, he came telling me, but it's
Why shouldn't you have turned the other cheek?
No. Listen, you see, he's using scriptures out of context. You see, that's a quote from Jesus Christ. Look, you didn't slap me, and if you did, I would have given you my other cheek. But the thing is, we're in a dialogue, and I respect the dialogue, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not trying to get on you. But he came at me saying, well, the Bible, basically in a nutshell, paraphrase, it can't be trusted. It's written by 4 different men that weren't even companions.
Because they changed it.
You see, you're saying something about the Bible right now. Now, if you were to use your reasoning and say, well, I know the Bible, I should be able to say, no, they didn't, according to your reasoning, because I know my book, and it's not changed. But you are saying it's changed, but yet you don't know the Bible. So using your reasoning, I should be able to say something about the Quran then, and say, and I could be right. You see what I mean? So he came attacking me, and I was answering him, and that's how this started. I wasn't attacking.
But this is natural. When you're,
I'm not even.
Listen, if we come to the street and he start talking,
and I'm hearing a public guy on a microphone,
okay,
I have kind of a right.
Which is okay.
Which is okay. Totally is okay.
I'm okay with it.
It's everybody's right.
I'm okay with it.
But you're gonna go to him and saying, you know what? In this part of the Quran is like this, so it's wrong. It's natural. You're gonna say that exactly. So he came to you and he did the same thing. You know what, my friend? You're so interesting. You don't know even what is right in the Bible, okay? But you're just like
don't mind him. Talk to me.
Talk to me. God way, right? And you believe in Jesus, right? So why you do?
Well, he's kind of latching on to this guy. Because this guy's the knowledge guy. He's just like in the background, like.
Talk to that. No. But here's what I'm saying. No, Glenn. Here's what I'm saying is that if we really want to get to the bottom of it,
which we never will, because no matter what I say, you're going to believe what you believe, no matter what you say.
No. Here. No. Truth is truth, right? I mean, I agree with you. God is one. Okay? We have a common ground, right? Moses said God is one. Jesus said God is one. Paul said God is one. God never said he's 2, 3, 4. He's one. Only one. There's only one God. We can agree on that as Muslims and Christians and Jews, okay? There's agreement. Logically, it says there's God is one. There's no need for a second God, third God, fourth God. I remember you in the beginning, you were calling me, like, you believe in 3 gods. You're the one who started picking at me like that. Well, and you said, well, according to your book, I wasn't carrying a book. And I said, well, you don't even know, but I don't even have a book. And you're like, well, you're a Christian, aren't you? I mean, you just started giving me some, and then you're like, oh, the Bible says. So you came attacking me in all honesty. You did.
I did, but then you're the guy.
It wasn't me, though.
Yeah, no, but
you know
indirectly technically you were. You were attacking the public because you had the mic.
I'm okay with it, brother.
So,
I'm okay with it. I'm talking, and I'm okay.
It's public, right? I'm walking by, I hear the guy on the mic talking about this and that.
I know,
so
but
I'm gonna. It's a conversation with the public.
I know, but
I mean,
I'm okay with that. I'm just trying to say that. It wasn't me trying to attack.
If it's not a conversation,
attacking the Bible.
it's him preaching.
That's all I'm trying to say. No, brother.
It's a conversation.
All I'm trying to say is you came attacking the Bible. Now, according to your reasoning, though, I should know my own book, right? But that's not always the case, because sometimes someone outside can know your book better than you. Like, I could know more about the Quran. He didn't know about the Hafs and the Warsh.
I didn't know the difference. I just didn't.
You didn't know the names.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't know the names, and I did. So I knew a true fact about the Quran that he didn't. And does that make me wrong? No, I knew about his book. I can study too.
You are free to search for it.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, if we really want to get to the heart of the matter, we really want to know what the truth is, and should I follow the Bible? Should I follow Jesus? Or okay, forget that. Is the Bible today, is it a respectable book that I can follow, or should I follow the Quran? Like, if we really want to know the truth, we got to go step by step and ask ourselves some simple questions. First of all, if you read the Quran, which I have about 4 times, and I'm reading it again and again and again to try to understand. I want to be a Hafiz. My goal is to be a Hafiz. I want to know it.
Okay,
so
that's good.
Okay, but listen.
You have to.
I need to learn Arabic.
Find the right one.
I know. Okay. No, but listen to me. When I read the Quran, it says some very positive things about the Bible. Like, for instance, it says to Prophet Muhammad in one of the ayats, it says, and I'm not. I proved that I had a factual statement, so I'm not lying. Okay? It says in one of the ayats, it says, O Muhammad, if you're in doubt concerning anything revealed therein into the Quran, ask the people of the book. Ask the Jews and the Christians. We're the people of the book. So when Muhammad got his revelation from Jibreel, if he was in doubt concerning this revelation, he should ask the people of the book, the Christians and the Jews, which means that the Christians and the Jews at the time of Muhammad, which are about 600 AD or so, 622 and so forth, 610 around there, we had an authentic Bible that we can check to see if Muhammad truly was that prophet to come. At least at minimum at 600 AD. There's another verse where it says that the Jews and Christians have nothing to judge by unless they judge according to what God has given them in their own book, in the Torah and in the Zabur and in the Injil.
That's implying the original intact version.
Of course, it's implying that the verse at the time of Muhammad, which is at least at 600 AD.
Well, no, at the time of those communities in which in the original revelation.
Okay. You have a good day, Jack. God bless you. All right. So all I'm trying to say is, if you look at those verses in its context, if you're looking at those verses at the context in the Quran, it gives the implication that there was original Bible at the time of Prophet Muhammad that could be trusted. Now, all we got to ask ourselves is, are there any manuscripts that we have today that exist that say the same message of the Bible that we have today? We have manuscripts of the New Testament dating back as early as 125 AD, and full copies between 200 and 300 AD, and that's at least a good 400 to 300